Scott Bessent is letting loopholes in U.S. law put everyday Americans at risk, while criminals exploit the system freely. Families, small business owners, and communities are left vulnerable, and he won't take responsibility. How can he sleep at night?
The Trump administration has alleged that detecting and deterring transnational criminal organizations such as Iranian terrorist groups and their proxies is a priority for national security. But on March 2nd of 2025, your department announced that it would not enforce any penalties or fines associated with the BOI reporting rule, nor will it enforce the CTA against U.S. citizens, domestic reporting companies, or their beneficial owners. So I'm a little confused of how you square those two things. So my question is, can you explain to, or would you explain to the American public how you undermine the bipartisan CTA and expect law enforcement and national security agencies to quickly and effectively know the true owners behind shell companies registered in the United States now that foreigners, including a drug cartel, gang members, could register a company in the United States with no state or any federal ownership reporting requirements? And I remind you, in your testimony, you talked about illicit actors. Well, these are some of our illicit actors.
The Congresswoman, an overwhelming majority of the domestic entities that you're describing are hardworking Americans with small businesses. We bifurcated the bill, and any foreign entities must still file.
So you saying to me it's not true that they must file and the foreign entities must file the BOI?
Yes, we bifurcated the CTA program that domestics do not have to.
So maybe I'm asking it the wrong way. So it appears that they are doing it registering to avoid the transparency of who the companies are.
I'm not sure what your question is. I'd be happy to answer it.
So I guess I'm looking at it as, and if you're saying it is not true and that they now are complying and completing the BOI. So let's take it one step at a time. So you're saying everybody is completing the BOI. You're enforcing it.
No, ma'am. I am saying that we have bifurcated it, that U.S. nationals do not have to file, and that foreign nationals do. Okay,
so I guess when we look at this, if we're limiting enforcements of the rule just to the foreign entities, that creates a giant loophole whereby any foreign entity can register in the United States and evade or not do the BOI reporting requirements.
Well, they would be subject to all. They would have to come through a U.S. financial institution, so they would be subject to all U.S. institutions,
including the BOI. Including the BOI. Including the BOI. Yes or no? Because the answer is no. I mean, you can say it however you want to, but the answer is no. And this makes it easier, and this is what I want the American folks to know. It makes it easier for human and drug traffickers, cartels, terrorists, organizations, and other criminals to do business in the United States. And when you're limiting the enforcement just to foreign entities, it exempts 99% of the entities that Congress intended the law to cover when it was passed into law. So I think I do have my answer. We're just not agreeing on it, and we know why. So let me go to my second. Let me go to my second question. The clock is running. It's my time. It is my time. You will not do this on my time. Now, I'm going to ask for a few more seconds since he refused to comply with my time, not his time. In 2016, former Secretary Jack Lew announced that Harriet Tubman was to be the new face of the $20 bill. Can you tell me what's the current status of this project?
No, ma'am, I can't, but my staff will get back to you.
No, I want you to get back to me. Because, see, there seems to be an issue when it comes to things that affect people of color or people who live in poverty, whether it is what you're doing with Social Security, what you are doing with restricting funds.
The gentlewoman's time is expired.
The
gentleman's time is expired.
To me.
The gentleman
Mr.
from
Chairman,
Texas,
I need him to answer if he will. I'm not a staff person. I'm not asking him to have his staff report.
The gentlewoman
so, Mr. Chairman, I'm addressing it to you to ask him
has
to respect
expired.
me. Mr. Chairman,
The gentlewoman's
I'm talking
time
to
has
you.
expired.
I need him to address.
The gentlewoman's
if he will
time
answer
has
me
expired.
as a, no, I'm not going
The
to.
gentlewoman's
yield.
time
I'm
has
not going
expired.
to stop until you
The
direct
gentlewoman's
him
time
to
has
answer to
expired.
me as a member of Congress.
The gentlewoman's
Mr.
time has
Chairman, point
expired.
of
The
order
gentlewoman
to
has
you.
offered that she can
Mr.
submit questions
Chairman,
for the
point
record.
of order to you. I will not stop. I will not be silent.
The gentlewoman is
until
not
you
offering
direct
an
him
appropriate
to answer.
parliamentary inquiry. Does
Will
the gentlewoman
you-
have a parliamentary
Yes,
inquiry?
I do.
Please state the parliamentary inquiry.
As a member of the United States Congress addressing the Secretary, I am asking you to rule on asking this hostile witness to direct his response to me versus having him tell me that his staff will respond to me. My staff person didn't ask them the question. I did.
The gentlewoman does not state a parliamentary inquiry.
So let me ask a
Gentlewoman's
point of
time-
privilege to you, Mr. Chairman, because I'm not going to stop this morning until you respond to me then, if you will direct the Secretary to respond to me as a member of Congress. Or let me ask him.
It is not a
Then
point of
let
privilege.
me
The
ask
gentlewoman's
him
time, the
if
gentlewoman's
he will
time has
respond
expired.
to
The
me.
gentlewoman will
Will he
suspend.
respond to me?
The gentlewoman
Will
will.
he
The gentlewoman will
respond
suspend.
that he-
The gentlewoman
It can
will
be simple
suspend.
if he
The
responds.
gentlewoman will
If
suspend.
he responds to
Gentlewoman
me,
will
if
suspend.
he will
The
respond to me,
gentlewoman makes a legitimate request, a personal
you can
privilege.
simply ask him to
Grant
respond.
personal privilege.
Just
Personal
ask him to respond if he'll respond to a member of Congress versus saying a staffer. It's simple as that.
I ask that members keep decorum and remain cordial during today's hearing.
I am being
Members,
cordial to
the
you,
gentlewoman
Mr.
will suspend.
Chairman.
The chair has the time.
Mr. Chairman,
the
will you
chair has the
answer the
time. The
question?
gentlewoman will suspend.
Gentlewoman
the
makes a
gentlewoman will
legitimate
suspend.
request.
I ask that members keep decorum and remain cordial during today's
I am being
hearing.
cordial. I resent your statement to imply that I am not. I am a member of the U.S. Congress. I am asking this
The
secretary
gentlewoman
to
may
respond
submit
to me.
QFRs for the record, which will be responded to by the secretary.
Thank
The
you.
gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentleman from Texas, the chairman of the Small Business Committee, Mr. Williams, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. This may be a little easier on you here. I'll try to move it fast forward. The Chinese Communist Party has enabled their economy
When
to
Rep.
serve.
Joyce Beatty questioned Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, she wasn't just participating in a routine congressional hearing. She was exposing systemic gaps in accountability that could directly affect the safety, fairness, and economic security of everyday Americans. At the heart of her line of questioning was the Corporate Transparency Act, CTA, and its reporting requirements. On paper, this might seem like a dry, bureaucratic issue, but Beatty highlighted how the Treasury's enforcement decision, exempting domestic companies from certain reporting rules while still enforcing them on foreign entities, creates a loophole that undermines the law's intent. This isn't just about numbers or corporate paperwork. Beatty highlighted how the Treasury's enforcement decision, exempting domestic companies from certain reporting rules while still enforcing them on foreign entities, creates a loophole that undermines the law's intent. This isn't just about numbers or corporate paperwork. When domestic companies don't have to disclose beneficial ownership, it weakens transparency in our financial system. Beatty framed the stakes clearly. In an era where transnational criminal organizations, drug cartels, and terrorist networks are increasingly sophisticated, any gap in enforcement can be exploited, and ordinary Americans end up paying the price, whether through higher crime, unstable markets, or weakened national security. She forced Bessent to confront a simple truth. Policy decisions aren't neutral. They either protect people or leave them vulnerable. And in this case, the decision disproportionately favors entities with resources and connections over the citizens these laws were designed to safeguard. Then Beatty didn't stop at technical enforcement. She pivoted to something deeply symbolic but no less significant: Harriet Tubman's placement on the $20 bill. This isn't just about currency aesthetics. It's about whose stories America chooses to honor and what values are publicly celebrated. By pressing Bessent to provide a concrete answer rather than deferring to his staff, Beatty highlighted a recurring problem in government. Decisions affecting people of color, low-income communities, and historically marginalized groups are often postponed, obscured, or ignored. This goes beyond finance. It touches on identity, representation, and the signals our institutions send about who matters and whose contributions are recognized. Perhaps the most instructive part of this hearing is Beatty's insistence on direct accountability. When Bessent tried to redirect questions to his staff or sidestep, Beatty asserted her role as an elected representative. She demanded that her questions be answered personally. This is a lesson for all Americans watching. Oversight is only effective when those in power are required to answer for their decisions. It's a reminder that democracy isn't just about passing laws. It's about ensuring those laws are enforced fairly, transparently, and in ways that protect ordinary people, not just corporations or political interests. There's also a deeper economic lesson embedded in this exchange. Beatty reminded viewers that while government discussions often focus on metrics like GDP growth, tax cuts, or corporate incentives, these statistics rarely reflect the lived realities of millions of Americans living in poverty or on the edge of financial instability. By connecting abstract policy to tangible consequences, like whether a loophole in corporate reporting could empower criminal networks, Beatty made economic policy human. This is how hearings like this should be understood, not as a debate between politicians, but as a spotlight on how policy decisions ripple through communities, affecting lives, safety, and opportunity. For viewers, the takeaway is clear. Government decisions matter profoundly, even when they seem technical or symbolic. Every exemption, every delay, every loophole has consequences for ordinary citizens. When policies are enforced unevenly or when accountability is diluted, it erodes trust in institutions, reinforces inequality, and exposes communities that could have been mitigated. Beatty's questioning reminds us all that oversight, transparency, and accountability are not optional features of democracy. They are its lifeblood. This exchange also challenges us as citizens. How do we ensure that laws designed to protect the public are actually enforced? How do we amplify the voices of those marginalized by policies that seem abstract but have very real consequences? And most importantly, how do we hold elected officials and administrators accountable when loopholes or symbolic gestures fail to reflect the values of fairness and justice? If you're watching this, don't just scroll past. Talk about it, share it, engage in the conversation. Oversight isn't just a congressional procedure, it's a civic responsibility. Understanding these hearings empowers you to ask questions, demand transparency, and advocate for policies that protect the most vulnerable among us. Don't stay silent. Share this video to spread awareness. Comment below with your thoughts on corporate transparency, and subscribe to stay informed.